Welcome to Podcasts, recorded live at the Center for Spiritual Living in Portland, Oregon. We have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center and its video podcast, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.
This morning, joining us on stage is our special guest for the day, Mr. Glen Hoover. Yeah. So I know we got a party going on back there, but we're going to enter into our service by standing and singing our opening song together. The music will bring them in. It is Thank You for This Day. Thank you, Ed and Kristen, for joining me up here. Our singers, that's right. All right. We want to say thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, thank you. We want to say thank you. Yeah. Oh, thank you. We want to say thank you. Oh, thank you. Let's sing together, y'all. For this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this healing, this healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends.
Thank you for my friends.
Spirit,
Thank you for my friends.
thank you for my friends.
For my friends, Spirit, thank you for my
My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health.
Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my
Thank you
health.
for my health.
Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my
My
health.
radiant, my radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant. Thank you for my life.
Thank you for my life,
Oh, yeah.
Spirit. Thank you for my
Thank you
life.
for my
For my
life.
life, Spirit.
Thank you for my glorious, my glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. Oh yes,
My
glorious, my glorious, my glorious.
glorious
Thank you
life.
for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you
for this
Thank you
day.
for this day.
For this day,
Spirit, thank you for this healing.
this healing,
Oh, yeah.
this healing,
This healing, this
day.
healing.
This healing,
Oh, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this healing, this healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Blessings. Woo. You may be seated. Yes.
Wow. Thank you already. We've already started being healed by this wonderful music. Let's give another round of applause for all of the musicians today. Good to see everybody. Good to be here. Welcome to the Portland Center for Spiritual Living. We're a science of mind community that teaches spiritual practices and principles to transform your life and to make the world a better place. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. All we ask is that you stay open to the possibility of changing your entire life simply by changing your mind. My name is Sandy Liebold, and I serve as one of the licensed spiritual practitioners here. It's my honor to welcome you here this morning. If you're new to the center, and by the way, is anybody here for the first time? If you're here in person, raise your hand. Yay! And I'll bet you we have some new people on Facebook Live. They can raise their raise hand thing and be greeted online as well. Thank you for being here, all of you. So glad you've joined us. If you're here in person, please make sure you've received a welcome packet. They look like this, and they are available on the table back where you see Practitioner Nancy Hood. So anyway, back in the back of the room. And also, if you are attending as part of our beloved global virtual community, the same information is available to you on our website at cslportland.org under the About Us menu tab. Either on paper or online, you'll find a lot of information about who we are, what we stand for, and how we might serve you. On our website, you can also sign up for weekly emails that detail our events. You can register for our classes and even get a free gift on your birthday. And who doesn't want a gift on their birthday? I invite you to explore all that we offer here. Now I'd like to make a few announcements. First off, we have a special volunteer opportunity that's coming right up to support Camp Cedar Ridge. And the next Gen Camp is next weekend at Camp Cedar Ridge in Vernonia. CSL members from 18 to 35 years old are gathering for community empowerment and evolution of their spirituality from Friday, October 20th through Monday, October 23rd. So Camp Cedar Ridge and Next Gen are CSL-wide programs. However, as the local community closest to the camp, CSL Portland has committed to supporting them in any way we can. This week we've been asked for volunteers to drive Next Gen participants from PDX Airport to the camp on Friday, October 20th, and or back to the airport on Monday. It's about an hour and a half each way, but look at it as a wonderful opportunity for a drive in the countryside. The camp is in Vernonia. So many of these younger adults can't easily afford to rent a car, so any help we can give would be most appreciated. And campers will be arriving between 3 and 4 on Friday, and they'll leave between noon and 1 on Monday. So that would be kind of the time that one would want to be dropped off or picked up. You can volunteer for one or both legs of the trip, and if you can help out, please let licensed practitioner Sean Larkin know that you are available and how many campers and how much luggage you can take and whether you want to do Friday and or Monday. And I think I saw Sean sneak in while I was speaking, so I think he's here. But if not, you can always find the contact information for any of our practitioners in your program. So the other thing, the couple other fun things that are coming up, start marking your calendars now for our fall potluck here at the center on Sunday, November 19th. That's the Sunday before Thanksgiving. It's after our celebration service in the spirit of gratitude and thanksgiving, and of course to celebrate the harvest season. We also are encouraging people to bring a friend to introduce to the community. That's how our loving membership grows. The center will provide turkey and ham. Please bring your favorite holiday side dishes to share. You can sign up in the sanctuary on the back table or through there on the events tab online to let us know what dish you plan to bring and how many people are in your party so we can plan the right amount of turkey and ham. Also, that same day, during the Harvest Potluck, we'll be holding our second annual silent auction. Anybody who was here last year remembers that it was really fun to look at the things that were available for sale and to shop for a good cause. And last year, I remember there were several items from our own very talented artists and craftspeople, as well as wonderful experiences you can enjoy. So this year, all the proceeds are going to support the investment in our new roof, which will be installed soon. In fact, maybe even by the time, I think it will be by the time we're having the potluck and auction. This one, you'll be able to bid in person or live online. So you, again, our virtual community can join in the fun. We are asking for donations of items, services, or art, anything that's new or in excellent condition and small enough to be easily shipped to our virtual community members also. Please don't give us a armoire or something, much as it might be gorgeous. Suggested items include original artworks and crafts, theater or sports tickets, movie night basket, book lovers basket, music lessons, dance lessons. You get the idea. Anyway, all donations need to be delivered to PCSL by the Sunday beforehand so things can get set up. So that's by November 12th. And if you have any questions, please get hold of our licensed practitioner and board president, Nadine Muller. And her contact information is on the Silent Auction event webpage. And of course, she's here today as well. In fact, today, licensed practitioners Nadine Muller and Annette Bolster are serving on High Watch, holding a sacred container of consciousness in the sanctuary and for our virtual community. We thank them for those efforts. Our flowers today are courtesy of Marcia Hudson. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you for what you do for our flower ministry. And today, we've already heard from Glen Hoover. Our special music features Glen, who's been playing rock and soul and blues, apparently in the area for over 17 years. Including, he's a musical friend of our very own LaRhonda Steele, and he also has hung out with Curtis Salgado. I know that that's something cool, so I know we're in for a treat. Welcome, Glenn. And of course, we have our always great Friends Band with us. Yay! Today's message is by our guest minister, Reverend Barbara Wuest, and it's called Shaking Up Our Worldview. So when I heard this title, since we've had so many sort of music-related services lately, it was like shaking up our worldview. I'm going, shake, 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 shake your worldview, shake your worldview. That's as well as I can sing, so that's it, no more. You've had my musical interlude there. As you know, we are in the process of calling the right and perfect person to be our new senior minister. And as community members, we each have a role to play. Earlier this year, we created a covenant, which is part of the divine creative process. And while I hope that you're still using this covenant as part of your regular spiritual practice, we haven't read it out loud together for a while. So I am going to invite you to look in the seat pocket in front of you and pull out the document, which is our covenant. And we will take a few moments to recite it together. We just do this in one voice. And this is the purpose of which is to anchor our intentions as a community. And so it looks like people have mostly found their pieces of paper, so let's go ahead and begin. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of spirit as wisdom. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God. For it is written, to realize that God is ever present, ever available, is to know that all the wisdom, intelligence, and power of the universe is right where you are. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister before me as lighting this safe space in unity, love, and belonging. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself. For I am inspired to align with divine wisdom so that all around me feel uplifted, strengthened, and loved. I am calling forth the awareness of oneness as the source of universal truth. I am demonstrating the power of love in leading and guiding PCSL in its expression of wholeness and abundance. I am expressing passion for providing broad educational opportunities for spiritual growth and experiences both in person and virtually. I am nurturing modern families, engaging our communities, and standing up for a diverse, equitable, and inclusive society. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will express spirit and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious, and so it is. And so it is, knowing that manifestation is happening. Thank you. Okay, somebody's up. Music. Someone's up. Someone comes up for music now. I think we normally have music now, don't we? Yes. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Oh, no. Oh, sorry. I didn't say. Sit back and relax. Okay. Sorry. So sit back and relax because I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, and the message is exactly what your heart came here to receive. Oops.
I'm a creature of habit.
And all is well. And so it is.
Thank you. Everybody take a big breath and relax. Get ready for our meditation time. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
so we come together for this time of affirmative prayer, knowing in this moment that there is only love. There is only love. There is one divine love, one divine presence, one divine spirit that is back and behind everything seen and unseen. It is one of wisdom. It is one of divine guidance. It is one of presence and power and deep connection. And I know that this presence, this guidance is always available to me. I know that each of us is, in fact, an emanation of this one divine presence, that each of us has in ourselves that divine impulse and that divine purpose. It is our birthright. It is who and what we are. Each of us is part of it, and it is part of each of us. And so what I know and claim today is that regardless of what appearances may be in the physical world, that I know that we can always come within to feel exactly as we are feeling now, this knowing that there is only love. It reassures me, it guides me. I feel the presence of God enfolding me in this love, in this moment, and in any moment when I turn within to listen, to just be with it. And I know that this is always available to me, and it's always available to each of you as well. We are in this together, and that everything is coming together for the highest and best, even if we can't necessarily see it in this moment with our human eyes. We trust, we know, we lean into that knowing and know that it will all be and is all well. And so I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful to know this. I'm so grateful to know this in community with each and every person within the sound of my voice. And I know that each prayer is answered with a resounding yes. And so I know that this prayer is already being manifested. And for that, I'm so grateful. And so now let's let it be. And together we say, and so it is. And now I invite you to just stay in a few moments of silent meditation, knowing that God is present, love is present everywhere, including right here and right now.
Well, the second wedding that I performed as a minister was September 16th, 2001, 5 days after the event that occurred in New York, Virginia, and Pennsylvania, what we now know as 9/11. I remember before the wedding, the parents of the bride came up to me and said, "Barb, is there any way that you could go and talk to everybody before the wedding, because this is such an emotional time for all of us, and we want it to be okay to celebrate." And it was really hard during that time. Those of you can remember, some of you weren't born yet. But I'm sure that you've heard of what happened on that day. So I walked up the aisle before the wedding, and I stood in front of everybody, and I said, you know, there was a huge tragedy that occurred 5 days ago, and it's deeply impacted every one of us, not only us in the United States, but all around the world. And many of us have not been able to process everything quite yet, and it will take a little bit of time to go through the processing of what happened. And it was hard to feel grounded. And I said, some of us are pretty down, and how do we allow ourselves to feel joy and lightness and love, shower the people you love with love, on this day when the world is so topsy-turvy? And I said, each of us is in a pretty liquid position right now. We have an opportunity to choose right now to be okay taking all of that energy that occurred, the fear, whatever emotion it is that you're having, and take that and put it in a ball for now. And just allow yourself in this moment to set it over to the side for this moment. It's okay, we can come back to it if we want, but allow it to sit there for just this moment. Because right now, we have the duty to be here as loving presence for this couple that couldn't wait to get married, and this is the day. And so this is the day then that let's take our focus and shift it to that of love and light and send that beautiful loving energy to this couple. Remember, we can always pick that other up, but right now in this minute, and I said, okay, everybody, take a deep breath. And I said, just think of this couple. Think of the love that they have for one another. Think of the love that they have for you, for inviting you here to be here on this day, recognizing their love. Imagine that. To hold love, peace, and joy right now in this present moment. So then I finished, I said, so I ask that we focus right now on sending so much love to the couple and allowing ourselves to enjoy this day. This is our job right now. Remove any other thoughts as we step into this place of celebration. And so that's what I'm asking us to do today. And normally I don't bring things into a service, but I can't help but know that there's a lot going on in the world right now. And so it's the same. I've been following things on the news channels, and there are times when they'll say, we've decided to share these photographs or these images or videos because we really want people to know what's going on. And if you don't want to look, we'll say, don't look now, because what you see, you can't unsee. And I thought that I could look. So I did once. And I can't see what I saw. And so it's the same thing here. We're all in a position as I was in September of 2021, or 2001, to take this bit. And those of us who are highly sensitive, it's very difficult. I was thinking about that, planning this talk. It's like, how can I even do this when so much is happening? And then I remembered. It's okay. We have our lives to live. So let's allow ourselves today, if that's all right with you, to take this bit, whatever it is you're feeling right now, what's going on in Israel. And I'm sending, tons of love and prayer to the Palestinians and the Israelis, because it's all of it, not just one or the other. It's all of it, and all of us caught up in it as well. So let's take this opportunity then, put all those emotions in a bubble and take them, move them to the side for right now. We can pick them back up later if we want. Take a deep breath in. And know in this moment that God is moving in, through, and as each one of us. And so right now, let's decide to be present in this moment and celebrate our lives, celebrate that we're breathing, celebrate that we're here together in community. It's okay to allow things that we don't have any control over to be set aside. We can always pick them back up. So are you willing to be present in this moment?
Yes.
Great. So let's take another deep breath in. And let it go. And take those words from the song, shower the people you love with love. So let's do that right now. and be present right here and right now. Yeah, if you need to, move your arms, your legs. Shake your, what did you say it was? Worldview. So moving forward then, in 2023, global theme is living out loud. So we're playing with paradox this month, and today specifically we'll be looking at how we're shaking up our worldview. Perfect timing, I would say. So as you may know, paradoxes are statements that are seemingly contradictory or opposed to common sense, and yet perhaps true. The purpose of a paradox is to arrest attention and provoke fresh thought. So Guy Finley said this, it's a paradox of the true spiritual path, but the more conscious we become of what limits us, the more limitless becomes our life. It's a paradox. The more conscious we become of what limits us, the more limitless becomes our life. So when I think of a paradox and the reaction to it like that one, I always think of a dog, like if you do a high whistle, what do? So every time I think of a paradox or hear something like that, I kind of go, huh? I'm sure you all know what I mean, right? Huh? What? What are you talking about? Why did the ancient philosopher build 2 spots to park his boat? We'll never know. It's a paradox. Where's the head? If I knew one thing, it's that I know nothing. Okay. Paradox calls us to be both curious and vulnerable. So in our society, we're often taught that knowing and being in the right is more important than curiosity. We're also taught that we should only show the best parts of ourselves to the world, giving people the social media highlight reel rather than behind the scenes mess that often exists, right? Yet playing with paradoxes offers us the ability to stay open to the many perspectives and to not know and to be vulnerable and uncertain. It's okay to not know. Approaching the unanswerable questions of the universe with playfulness provides us a unique opportunity to simply be without needing to be right or even to know what is right. So today, let's explore paradoxes using 3 simple tools. Well, 3 tools, I don't know about simple, as paradoxes are a natural part of our life, right? So the first is the playfulness of curiosity. So paradox naturally leads us to a place of curiosity. It gives us an opportunity to sit in the and in the middle, and to not need to choose a side or an option and move in that direction. Just allows us to sit. Here's an example. This isn't a groaner like the last one was. I say I apologize, but I don't, because sometimes groaners are really good. A linguistics professor says during a lecture that in English, a double negative forms a positive. But in some languages, a double negative is still a negative. However, in no language in the world can a double positive form a negative. But then a voice from the back of the room piped up, yeah, right. I love that one. I could just see the person doing that, you know. I would probably be that person. Have you heard of the pen paradox? It doesn't matter how fast it's moving, it'll still be stationary. So playing with paradoxes then, it's okay to tilt your head whenever you're in that in-between place of yes or no. It's more of a Albert Einstein said the important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing, and it does. So from this playfulness of curiosity, we move to number 2, which is the paradox of vulnerability. And that's some of what I was talking about earlier. So staying open to remaining curious and neutral is a very vulnerable place to be, because it's the commitment of staying uncertain. And being uncertain is that place. The challenge of vulnerability it holds is within the paradox. Brené Brown says this in Atlas of the Heart. Vulnerability is the first thing we look for in another person and the last thing we want to show them about ourselves. Darn it. We immediately look for and are drawn to people who are vulnerable and share with us their deepest, messiest parts of themselves. Yet we struggle sometimes to show those for ourselves, feeling that they somehow represent a failure maybe on our own part, which it is not at all. Releasing our own self-judgment and getting curious about the paradoxes that show up in our lives allows us to explore those aspects of ourselves that make us feel most vulnerable. Thomas More in Care of the Soul said this: care of the soul means not taking sides when there is a conflict at a deep level. It may be necessary to stretch the heart wide enough to embrace contradiction and paradox. Now, in this place of vulnerability, when we sit in this place, it allows us the opportunity to wait for the message if we're open to it. So having fun with paradox is doing the look, and then being vulnerable to messages that come in. And what I want to tell you is after 9/11, because I was in that space of vulnerability for a while, I one day had a message, and I heard something, it might have been on the news, where the people of New York were saying, please come back to the city. We depend on having people travel there and tourism and all that. Please come. And it was like this light bulb went off. So I talked to two of the ministers I was working with, and we all decided to go to New York. Now, our purpose of going to New York was not only to bring money into the economy there, but specifically to go as ministers, to be vulnerable, to go up to people who live there and say, where were you? When? And to listen to what they had to say, because they needed to get it out. They needed to talk about what was going on in their lives when the towers went down. Where were you? I remember going into, I got goosebumps. I remember going into the subway and talking to a woman behind a counter, and I asked her, where were you? And she said, I was right here. And I didn't know what was going on for hours. She said, I couldn't leave. I had to stay at my post, but I didn't know what was going on. Their phones weren't working. They did have some walkie-talkies, but she said, I sat here for hours, and I didn't know what was going on. Every person we went into a restaurant, we'd ask our waiter, where were you? And invariably, everyone wanted to let us know where they were. Everyone. And our job as ministers was to be vulnerable, to be open, to listen, to shower the people with love. We knew that that was our job. We went to where the towers had stood, and they were surrounded by barricades and walls. And I went up and I was talking to one of the policemen and about it and how he was doing, because very difficult for them as well. And we had a great, wonderful conversation. And then I went over and I was talking to one of the National Guardsmen that was there. And I asked him, I said, how can we get up there? They had constructed this temporary platform, and it was only for family members of people. And I said, we really want to go up and pray and put our energy in here. And he said, oh, the person you need to talk to is that officer down there, which is the same officer I talked to and created a bond. So I went down to him and I said, we're ministers from Oregon, and we would like to go up and pray with people, pray anyway, And he said, go right ahead. He took us up there, and we stood there overlooking the area. And there were a number of people around, and we just set out, we're going to do a prayer if anybody would like to join us. Every single person joined us in this circle, and we prayed, and we listened, and we prayed, and we listened. And that's the vulnerability piece of this paradox. You know, I want to live my life in joy and peace and grace and love. And stuff happens. Bad stuff happens. And yet, opening up to the vulnerability of the situation then, we knew what was ours to do. And it brought light to the city. It brought light to the people. It brought love to the people. So staying in vulnerability is not the most loving and exciting thing to do in life. And yet, being open to listening to what God's plan is through us then, that's the enlightened part of this spirituality. So when and where do you feel most vulnerable? When living in and through paradoxes in your life, are you willing to stay open and curious of what life is showing you? Are you willing to live in the, So playing with paradox, with curiosity and vulnerability leads to the third part, Zen Buddhist koans. It's K-O-A-N. Now, if you aren't familiar with koans, they typically take the form of a question or a statement of a contradiction or a paradoxical nature presented to a student in order to help the student break free of habitual thinking and to open up to what they call great doubt. It's this thing. It's this thing. Great doubt. I'm sure you've heard this one. Two hands clap and there is a sound. What is the sound of one hand? It's a paradox. Or how about out of nowhere, the mind comes forth? It's not something you could just answer right off the cuff, right? So koans are a meditative practice which give the ability to open up to the experience of reality rather than trying to understand it. You don't have to understand it. Author Don Dianda explains it this way. He said, the koan serves as a surgical tool used to cut into and then break through the mind of the practitioner, which is all of us. Koans aren't just puzzles that your mind figures out suddenly and proclaims, the answer is 3. They wait for you to open enough to allow the space necessary for them to enter into your depths, the inner regions beyond knowing. So it's something that you sit with. It's not something you can answer right away. Contemplate this koan. 2 monks are arguing about a flag. One says, the flag is moving. The other, the wind is moving. And a third walks by and says, not the wind, not the flag, the mind is moving. Where are the head tilts? Koans are a great way to play with paradoxes and open up your curiosity and vulnerability while exploring the edges of what we know is possible. From the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. We were up early, eager to walk the botanical gardens of Montreal, where they have the largest bonsai collection in the world outside of Asia. We strolled through the Chinese temple garden, towards it, a lush yet simple retreat from the street that covers acres, a place of renewed originality, constructed in the 1600s in China and moved stone by stone to Montreal in 1990. As we approached the massive gate, it was locked. I panicked, ready to demand entry after driving 400 miles from another country to see this. Robert calmly, like an Oriental sage himself, treated the situation as if it were a koan, a riddle to be entered until its very assumptions shifted. He began to walk the outer wall of the garden. It seemed insurmountable. I was frustrated. He kept walking slowly along the high wall. Since the garden stretched for acres, I wondered if we would have to walk the entire perimeter. The thought made me cranky. He kept strolling. Suddenly, when we had walked further than was originally in our view, the wall disappeared. It turned out that the garden had no walls save for the facade at its entrance. So we simply walked through the open grass to a path that welcomed us. How many thresholds that seemed locked or barred or locked only seemed to be from their initial viewing? How many opportunities for true living are barrier-free if we can only remove ourselves and our minds from their traditional points of entry? Isn't that a great story? Yeah. Opening ourselves up to the paradox mindset means that we are willing to play into vulnerability and curiosity and uncertainty. It can be challenging to remain in the space of questioning that comes along with living in a life of possibility, and potentially rather than knowing the uncertainty. Using Zen Buddhist koans allows us to look at the polarities and the paradoxes in our own life from a different perspective, and then to form a third way rather than getting stuck in one viewpoint. There's another way. This provides the ability to stay open at the top as we learn this greater truth that await us when we continue to play with paradoxes. So this week, do some research on koans. You can look on the internet. I actually went down a total rabbit hole. It was great. My head kept going like this the whole time. Really loosens up the neck really quite well, actually. So spend next week meditating on and contemplating a koan, one that you find that maybe shines a light within you, and just contemplate the unanswerable. What has 4 legs and quacks? A paradox. I just had to. Repeat after me this. I am curious and vulnerable.
I am curious and vulnerable.
As I explore paradoxes in my life.
As I explore paradoxes in my life.
I am curious and vulnerable.
I am curious and vulnerable.
As I explore paradoxes in my life.
As I explore paradoxes in my life.
Yes. Yes. Let's go into prayer. Go ahead and close your eyes or put your eyes down. Oh, divine presence, there is so much love that we each have, that we carry around with us each and every moment. This week, remind us to be playful with those things that seem to be paradoxes in our lives, so that we are laughing in joy, so our heads are turning to the side constantly as we walk through our day. As we're talking with individuals, instead of having a response, just turn your head to the side. And then divine presence, as you illuminate those areas in our lives where we are playful and joyful, also guide us into our own vulnerability of how we are in our lives, how we deal with paradoxes, knowing that there is a divine answer, and as we sit in the space, right in the middle, that your voice will be heard above all other voices. And with koans as well, send us messages that we may move forward in any given moment in peace and grace and love. So I say for everyone today, be curious, be vulnerable, explore koans, and remember, I am curious and vulnerable as I explore paradoxes in my life. And together we say, and so it is. Blessings.
We hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you happen to be in the Portland, Oregon area, we'd love to have you visit in person. The Portland Center for Spiritual Living is located at 6211 Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Our inspirational service is at 11 a.m. every Sunday. We also have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. We have a variety of content dedicated specifically for our podcast listeners. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center and its podcasts, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Our website is also the place to learn more about what's going on at the center or to contact us. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.